What's up guys, welcome to this final part of the tutorial where we're gonna start compositing our image and produce the final one. So what we're gonna do is open up GIMP and then load in our image. So this is my image here, so I loaded it in. And next what I'm gonna do is load a background image that I got from the internet. I don't really remember where I did find it, and I think I'm gonna put it in the description, if anyone knows where or from who is the image, so he can just shout it to me in the comments or by a private message, and then I'm gonna put the correct link. So I suppose it's free because I use only free images in my works, so I hope so. So I'm gonna load in this image here, so I'm gonna open it, and it's there. So I'm gonna convert the color space. So this is the image I'm gonna be using. So I'm gonna control copy it and paste it here, and what I'm gonna do now is take this image, place this corner here at the top of my previous one, and I'm gonna scale it in order to fit my renders width scale. I move the layer here down by pressing this button here. So here it is, and then I'm gonna move it a little bit up, something like so. I think it's looking good. Yeah, maybe something like so. And it's fine for now, but we notice two major problems. Actually, is the color. The ambience of the background image doesn't fit our blender render, and also we have a too much clear of separation here between the background and the foreground. And what we're gonna do first of all is try to correct the color balance of our background, and then we're gonna mask this separation here by creating some mist and some smoky effects so that it looks better. So let's get started. So we're gonna go to colors, color balance, and here I'm gonna play a little bit with the reds here. I'm gonna put it more toward reds. I think this is a setting that works well in our case. I have our color balance that fits pretty much our render result. And then what I'm gonna do is take the eraser here, and then we're gonna use some special brushes from GIMP. Actually, these are the default brushes, and what we're gonna do is try and delete or erase this clear separation here that is caused by our mist effect, but it has to be subtle. So take down the opacity, and then we can make some some adjustments here and try to get rid of it. That looks fine, and as you can see here, the two images blend pretty much really good between each other. And as you can see here, we have this effect of fading on the Japanese lamps. So you can go with it or completely delete them if you want. So if I take a look at 100%, it feels a little bit weird. So I'm gonna take them away, and for that I'm gonna use a simple brush and try to fade them completely away. You can just let them a little bit pass through this mist, because this is light would actually be visible through this mist, and I think it's a better solution than getting rid of them completely. Yeah, I think it's fine here. You can actually do a more work on that, as you can see here. Much separation. Okay, I think it's looking good for now. We have these kind of animals there that are fiddling around. And now what I'm gonna do again is take a bigger brush, make a bigger size of brush, and then pick this brush here, as you can see. And I'm gonna put some, add new layer. And then I'm gonna do some work, as you can see, the effect of the brush. I'm gonna add some of something like this. I'm trying to not, because it gives us a more smoky effect. You can play with a lot of brushes, it doesn't matter which one you take. The main objective is that it looks like a smoky effect or so. Okay. I don't have a tablet, so I'm using my mouse, so I can't really play with the size while drawing. You can do so by, if you had like a tablet, you can play with the dynamics here and edit them so that if you have a high pressure on your tablet, so you have a bigger size, and less pressure than a smaller size, etc. It would be easier. And then we're gonna play a little bit. Here we have some white, and we're gonna take it like to mid-gray and try to paint with the sides. And then maybe darker gray. We'll end up with this one here. And then we can go for like two solutions. You can just play with the opacity here and try to give it like a cool effect. But also what I'm gonna do is try to find a good blending mode. And something like overlay, soft light seems to be cool. The idea is to try and minimize, it has to be really subtle. Yeah, I think soft light or luminance could be cool. Something like this seems to be good. And what I'm gonna do is blur it a little bit, so we don't want it to be as sharp. Okay, and then get a little bit again the opacity down like 7. As you can see here, we have this smoky effect that looks really cool and gives more depth to our image. And I think we are pretty much good. We have some details to correct here, as I told you when we've done the render. And we're gonna use the clone tool here. Actually, take the size really down. And what you can do is pick a source by control clicking on select the layer, render layer, control click on a source, and then you can paint over. And as you can see here, it masks pretty much of the water there. And you can correct all of these errors here, like so. And this is like a pretty tedious and long task, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, and I'll show you the end result once it's finished. So here it is once it's finished. So I corrected pretty much of the visible parts. I let some of these having some water on them, or having like a tearing effect, so it looks pretty much realistic and good. So I think it's pretty good so far. What I'm gonna do now is simply merge. I'm gonna take a little bit the opacity of the smoke, as it's too high, like 4, yeah. And then I'm gonna go to image, flatten image. So I'll have a one image, and Control C, select everything, Control C, then go back to our layers, Control Z, and then paste our image. So we still have our layers if we want to do some modifications, and we have the flattened it. What does this do is actually we have all of our layers, so if we wanted to do some modifications we can, and we have our flattened image here, so we can work on this image without having some degradation or impact on our previous work if you wanted to change it. What I'm gonna do now is go to colors, curves, sorry, so curves, and then I'm gonna do a little S shape, as I want the image to be pretty much having a lot of contrast, as you can see here. And then go to the red values. So you can a little bit, just a tiny bit up the reds, the greens again. So you can do a little bit down, and finally in the blues, I'm gonna again take them down, so we have like a orangey mood or feeling. Okay. As you can see here, we have a more contrasty and more warm image. And the idea now is, I love to do this thing, and it really works really good. So I'm gonna duplicate the layer, choose a orangey, like so, color, and then a bluish color. Okay, and then go to colors, map, and then choose a gradient map. As you can see, this what it does actually do is it replaces the highlights with the background color, and the shadows, midtones with a pretty much a blend between the two, or completely a foreground color. And then we can play with the blending modes to try and recreate an ambience. And as you can see, with the dodge we can have something interesting. Yeah, multiply also looks good. And as you can see, we can create a plethora of ambiances, and I think soft light is working good. As you can see, here we have something really cool in my opinion. Okay, it looks fine for now. So I went with soft light at 33% of opacity, and the final thing I'm gonna do is add some vignette to focus our attention on the main image subject, which are the Japanese lantern, etc. To do so, I generally create a new layer, pick the elliptical marquee tool, drag something like so. We could actually do it in Blender, but I prefer to do my compositing and post-processing outside of it, as I feel more comfortable. Select invert, and then I'm gonna take a black color, okay, and fill it. As you can see here, we have something like this. Select node, filters, blur, Gaussian blur. Actually, it says Gaussian blur. And take the value pretty much a high value. Like 102. Maybe go to like 150. Yeah, and I think it's fine. So take down the opacity. And we are, I think, good to go. So I think we are good to go. There's still a little bit of the details to correct, as you can see here. And sorry for the noise here in the lanterns, as I rendered with low sample, and I did not tweak too much the settings, as the renders would take a little bit too long. But you can actually get up a little bit the samples, a little bit more the samples, and do some clamping on the direct lighting. Globally or generally, it looks okay. And sometimes what I do is I render twice the size of the image I want, and then I scale it a little bit down. So to do so, I'm just checking if everything is okay. To do so is actually what I do is save my project as a GIMP file. I'm gonna close this one here, and again go to image, flatten image, Control A, Control C, and Control Shift V, so it creates a new image. And then I go to image, scale image, and divided by 2 scale, and this will actually reduce a little bit the noise on the image when seen at full size. So I think this looks pretty good for now. So, and we've come to the end of our tutorial. I hope you enjoyed all the videos and you've learned something out of them. And if you have any questions or any critiques or remarks, you can simply contact me on YouTube or send me an email or drop a comment as you want to. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and it has been useful for you. You learned something and you get something out of it. And see you for a next video. Thank you for watching.